We just had a live show in Boston, and there were some salespeople there, and I shook the hands of I don't want to say the brand with Simply Safe, and I shook their hands. They were like, "Oh my God, your hands are still as soft as the last time we met." We talked about that for months after we met.
I get that.
They called you the barstool guy with the soft hands.
That's incredible.
All right, welcome to the bracket, episode 151. Coming off the heels of an amazing Coley experience, we are back to the original group plus Glenny, plus Feits, plus White Sox Dave, going full caveman today and debating what the least manly thing is.
Would you consider yourself a manly man, Dave?
In some aspects, in others, I'm the least manly man of them.
In what ways?
Like I've done one hard labor job in my life.
Okay.
Landscaping. I asked these guys, my dad was, get off the couch, get a job. I was like 18. And I got the job finally. It was $20 an hour at the time for like 17, 18-year-old. It was a ton of money.
That's good.
And it was so hot the day he hired me on lunch. I called my buddy and had him come pick me up in the middle of my lunch.
It was too hot.
No. It was too hot. Yeah.
Too hot.
I told my dad, who has worked hard labor his entire life, he's like, "What the fuck are you doing? I thought you were landscaping now." I'm like, nah, they just didn't need the help.
No, you lied to your dad?
I lied to my dad.
Does he know the truth now?
I don't think he does.
Oh, you should tell him.
I will actually, next time I see him, I will tell him. It'll come as no shock to him, considering the son he raised, but that's my experience, like getting my hands dirty.
It is very, not that there's better options at Barstool Sports, but the seven of us debating manly stuff.
That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it fun, is that someone's going to click that thumbnail and look at us and be like, well, those are obviously the most manly men.
Who do we think the most manly men are at Barstool? I think White Sox Dave fits the stereotype the
If
best.
you looked at him, yes.
The caveman stereotype.
Yeah, but then I saw that clip of you fuckers the other day on Barstool Backstage talking about how you get bullied if you wore clothes. Being scared of getting bullied is the least manly thing in the world.
Yeah.
No, that was more, I was afraid of the youths. The youths do.
That's not manly either.
No,
I think
like,
it was Kevin. Kevin was like, if I wore that in 1996, I'd get bullied. And I was like, yeah, well, that's what... You can't be scared of getting bullied. That's not manly.
Billy football's pretty manly, I would say.
Yeah.
Billy
Traditionally.
He's like frat manly, though.
We just had a live show in Boston, and there were some salespeople there, and I shook the hands of I don't want to say the brand with Simply Safe, and I shook their hands. They were like, "Oh my God, your hands are still as soft as the last time we met." We talked about that for months after we met.
I get that.
They called you the barstool guy with the soft hands.
that's very
That's
not manly.
incredible.
I've shaken women's hands before who are like, oh my God, I would kill for your hands. Jesus Christ.
I get told soft and
overcompensate
clammy.
handshakes just to like come off as a little more manly?
No,
I
do that.
think I have a good handshake, but my hands are very supple.
I have a decent handshake.
Yeah, decent.
I don't know if I've ever heard the word supple used if it's not describing a breast.
Yeah, that is a
Dude.
breast word.
Yeah.
I got titty
supple
hands.
breasts.
My hands are fat.
You have titty hands?
I got titty hands.
Before we get into this bracket, let's talk about our first sponsor of the day, Factor. Notice how the days are shorter, but your to-do lists aren't. Power through those busy days with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. From breakfast to dinner, anything in between, Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled up and feeling your best. Whether you like the routine or enjoy mixing them up, they have you covered with 30 different delicious meals every week with over 60 additional add-ons that you can add to your box, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. We talk about Factor all the time. If you watch Barstool stuff, it's Factors everywhere. Their smoothies, I'll always mention them. They are incredible. I don't know how the technology works, but it tastes like they literally just blended them right in front of you. And the meals, the same thing, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I think, in the microwave, and it tastes like someone just made it. They let you do you, choose from 6 menu preferences, and help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. Because Factor's meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only how Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals. Head to factormeals.com/LCB50 and use code LCB50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code LCB50 at factormeals.com/50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. All right, the shout out to Factor. All right, first matchup of the day, the bracket 151, least manly things that a man can do. The number 5 seed is saying ew. Just the act of a man saying "ew" or typing out.
Point?
I'm picturing
Tommy,
you.
Tommy, you're a huge ew.
Yeah. I mean, if something's icky,
Great
something's
point,
icky,
Tommy.
I'm gonna say ew. That's the natural reaction.
Saying "ew" is going
You're gonna go ugh. ugh is more.
That's
Yeah.
manly.
Yeah.
That's more manly than ew.
Ugh.
Like EWWWW. A man.
And you guys are acting like I do this 10 times a day.
You do it
You
pretty
do it a lot,
regularly.
Tommy.
Ew.
do.
You say it differently though. You say ew. You say it a
No,
little-
I bet he ends all of them with a Y, like
Ewy?
yucky.
Ew,
Yeah,
I
ewy.
don't do ewy.
Wait, Dave, I think you're right.
And that's going up at number 12 seed. Needing help opening a jar. That is a brutal one. That is one that people are supposed to come to you to open a jar. It's a really tough matchup. We'll start out with the caveman of the group, Dave. Which one do you think is the less manly thing? Saying ew or needing help opening a jar?
Needing help opening a jar. Absolutely. Like, I'll say that kind of shit, like, intentionally kind of to come off as less manly than I actually am. Like, ewy. Like, but if you can't open a jar, you're a gigantic. In fact, you might even be gay.
Some are.
Like, you might just be gay.
He threw the Hail Mary on the opening play of the game.
I had to be the one to go there. I wasn't letting any of you guys get it.
Yeah, we were all chomping at the bit.
Yeah, we all were. Right. I appreciate you tossing it to me first. But, yeah, if you can't open, like, a pickle jar, you might as well just, like, turn in your penis.
I love how you said it too, like you were about to hit someone with like the worst insult you could possibly give.
So one for opening the jar, KB.
Depends. Who do you need help from to open the jar? 'Cause
A larger man?
Some lids are outliers.
Has your significant other ever handed you a jar and you kind of struggle with it for a sec?
It's my
Yes,
worst
I have.
nightmare.
Yeah.
But
I
he
have.
also couldn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it depends on the lid. I think that is more embarrassing. Ew is a tough interjection.
But think about how gross the thing is.
I'm almost gonna say, like ooh, like saying ooh out loud. I think I'm gonna go with that. I think that is more feminine.
That is
Yeah.
saying ew. Nick.
Saying ooh out loud. Yeah.
I mean, you could say ooh out loud. Dave, you can back me up here. Doesn't make you gay.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably
Maybe, though.
You could be.
You could be. You might be.
Odds are.
Chances are you're gay.
But what about
Actually,
jar?
no,
Is that
that-
100%?
No, you could be like little.
What if
like
your
Conrad probably can't open up a lot of jars. He's just kind of sickly and weak.
Well, he
and
had
frail.
cancer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who are they talking
that doesn't make him any
Danny
more of a
Conrad.
man. Beating cancer doesn't make him more of a man or anything like that.
I never
Danny
said
Conrad
that.
had
I did not
cancer?
know that
Is that
either.
a bit?
He had
No,
a
he
make-a-wish.
got-
He had to
he-
go on the set of The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's not real.
I swear to God, that's real.
We
No,
all
he-
found
he
out at
had,
the office like a few weeks ago.
Wait,
which
which
no,
cancer did
this
he
is-
have?
Leukemia.
He had
Oh
leukemia.
my God,
yeah.
what the fuck?
When he was
Yeah.
when he was 16 or 17, he was in high school, and he did get a Make-A-Wish, so he got to go meet the cast of The Office, and then he never died. So he just completely swindled the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Someone can fact check me here because I'm not 100%. I believe Make-A-Wish is almost exclusively for kids who have beaten it.
No, he's described it because that's how we bust his balls. Like, he's hustled the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's considered, if you have cancer, it's considered a terminal illness, and it's any terminal illness, even if it is beatable technically. It's
He had leukemia.
Okay.
Leukemia is
Yeah.
a big one.
oh yeah, that's a pretty big one.
That's
But
what-
like at the same time, like look at Danny.
I
He
can't believe
open a
this
jar.
about
You
Danny
can't open a
Conrad.
jar.
Great guy.
didn't even
Great
hear about.
guy.
Didn't even hear about it. Now I respect him more
Yeah.
almost. Yeah.
I actually respect him less for not talking
yeah.
about it more.
Oh yeah, that's
Tommy,
how I am.
Tommy, you'd be a nightmare if you had cancer. You would be so fucking annoying, dude.
Oh god, especially if
Tommy
I should just start
Strong.
telling people I had as a kid, so I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah. No one can fact check that.
Yeah,
really.
can't fact check that.
The Make-A-Wish thing reminds me, it's one of my favorite, I think, the Onion headlines. It's like, a kid, he's not sick yet, but John Cena's been lingering at his window for too long. For way too long.
I'm going jar.
Going with the jar. Two for the
That's
jar.
brute strength. Yeah.
Yeah. One, actually a good prank to, like, buy, like, a prank jar where it's, like, welded shut and asking, like, a guy to open it and, like, film it. Like, you can't open that? Like, ooh.
That is a good prank.
Two for opening the jar, one for saying ew. Fights.
No brainer. Ew. The ew is because that's who you are.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
an ew person.
Yeah, but all right, here's how I'm thinking of it. I could pass off an ew as like funny.
That's what I'm
pass
saying
that-
too. Yeah.
You could pass that off as funny. Asking your girlfriend to open a jar for you, there's no
Well,
humor
but that's
in
not
that.
what
Well,
it
is that
It's-
part
it's
of the-
But
somebody
ew is
unable-
almost like an instinct. It's almost like at your core.
Yeah,
You're-
right. It's internal. Like you can, if someone says ew in front of you, You could go, what the fuck was that?
What the fuck?
If someone can't open a jar, there's a chance they hand it to you and you can't open it either.
Yeah, but
the ew is 100%
to
of the
me
time.
in this scenario, it's like you can't open it when it's relatively easy to open. I mean, obviously, we're
Well,
not saying you
that,
gotta.
what?
you can't- you can't-
That's
Well, I mean,
not what it is.
That's exactly what it is. We're not
what
saying
it
we're
is.
not saying you gotta lift 400
The
pounds.
only qualifier is you need help opening a jar. That's it.
Yeah,
Ever?
there are jars that are hard to open. I've had a hard time opening.
Well, yeah, that
jars
doesn't
before.
make you less of a man. The implication here is that it's a relatively easy to open jar.
Well, the implication is you don't say things like ew. And I'm gonna go with people who say ew are less manly.
Whatever.
What is the better one you said? Like the ugh or like
Yeah.
you go,
just saying
ugh.
gross?
I say, oh.
So we had a snake draft of the manliest things you can do. I don't know if you guys have done that yet. And
I think
making
this up-
noises
yeah.
like that was just someone drafted. I forget who, but it's just like making noises is very manly. Like, ugh,
Yeah, you
like,
just grunt at it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
glottal noises
God.
that just come from like your stomach and your throat, just like grunting and shit.
Yeah, but ooh is a noise.
Yeah,
But
but
that's
it
like a
doesn't
feminine
gargle.
way.
You got to
Yeah.
gargle.
yeah,
it.
yeah, you need that like
Ew.
acid reflux.
Yeah.
Ooh doesn't come from the stomach. Ooh comes from like the back of the throat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, ugh. That just comes from like right here. You need a like it needs to be an acid reflux, basically.
Yeah.
So Tommy.
Yeah, listen, I'm an ew guy. I'm still very much a man. Again, I think that one is.
It's a nice sweatshirt.
Cedo,
you
he's
wanna
wearing a
see the
Cedo sweatshirt. It's just a bunch
Wait,
of,
what's his shirt?
the back of the shirt is just a bunch of mouths eating cherries.
I think is that Harry Styles album covers?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the sweatshirt.
It's a nice sweatshirt.
Yeah, I think having to like if you have to hand a bottle or something to your girlfriend or girl to open that's tough. And
You keep adding that caveat.
Yeah, that is not part of this.
I feel like that's very much a part of this.
If you had to hand a jar to Feits and have him open it, that would count.
Yeah, I wouldn't care about that. I wouldn't lose a drop of sweat. So I'm going with the jar.
So 3 for the jar, 2 for saying ew.
Yeah, I'm going
Tommy,
jar too.
I'm going to find you on a date with a girl that's already too hot for you, and just like hand this jar, just like, Smokes, can you open this?
Yeah, that won't be good.
That could be the new like, thanks for buying me that Lambo that people like reply to
Yeah,
guys
thanks
talking
for
to
opening
girls.
that
Thanks
jar.
for opening that jar. Sorry, Glenny?
But yeah, I'm going jar. I think it's opening a jar for someone else. Something instinctively so manly about it that not being able to do it is way less manly. I'm 1,000% going jar, and I'm also on the U train. I do screech every now and then.
You screech, Glenny.
I'm very easily scared. I'm a very easily scared person.
So opening,
I just thought about it. I'll type out like in text messages ew a bunch. Does that make me not
is it a lot of
That,
W's?
honestly, you might be gay.
2 W's EWW?
Two W's
Ew,
is
no.
manageable. Anything more than that is really
I would not
bad.
do ew in a text. I might do a yuck.
Gross.
I say yuck regularly. I'll look right now.
You text yuck?
Yuck is fine.
So either way, jar is going to move on. Now we have the 4 seed versus the 13 seed. I love the 4 seed. It's chasing something that's blowing in the wind. That's so funny. It's the idea of like you drop something and just blowing away in the wind. You're like, no, they got to go catch it. It's brutal. And that's going up against number 13 seed, using an umbrella, one that's been mentioned a lot. It's largely submitted one. Just something about it. It's just.
Are we sure we haven't done this topic before?
We did. Most
Yeah,
manly
we've talked
things.
about using an umbrella.
We did
I was gonna
most.
say, we've definitely had this
So
conversation.
about
an
2
umbrella.
2 years ago, we
Yeah.
did most manly things. We never did
Yeah.
least manly
Gotcha.
things. But yeah, so using an umbrella versus chasing something that's blowing in the wind. Glenny.
I'm easily going to go with chasing something blowing in the wind here. I am a man that doesn't use an umbrella because I'm an idiot, and every single time I get rained on, I say to myself, wow, I wish I had an umbrella. And I've never thought to myself that it's a non-manly thing to do. I would love to have an umbrella, I just forget it. So I'm going chasing something in the wind.
One for the chase. Tommy.
This is hard. I think I'm gonna go with the umbrella. I think the chasing in the wind. I think that makes you. It's kind of just like generally embarrassing, but I don't think it's like gender specific.
I don't think you'd think twice if you saw a woman chasing something.
I would.
blowing
I
away.
would think. I
sexist.
would look at it. I
Yeah,
would be like,
but
huh.
that would be cute.
I
It'd be
wouldn't be
cute.
like,
I
of
would
course, there
laugh. I'd
goes
be like,
another
"Aw."
woman chasing something
Do you
in the
think?
wind.
Do you think like Jay-Z or Lil Durk has ever chased something
Lil
in the
Durk's
wind?
never chased in the wind.
Are you saying it's a racial thing?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you did make it a racial thing. You did.
Yeah.
That's my favorite stereotype.
Everyone knows that. I'm gonna go with the umbrella. I mean, listen, I'll use an umbrella sometimes, but it is like, oh. And one time a girl did make fun of me for using an umbrella when it was like a light drizzle, and that has stuck with me for about 5.5 years now. So I'm gonna go with the umbrella.
I don't know if I'd bring an umbrella on a date. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, it was raining.
If a girl saw you walk into a date and it's like not even, it's just barely overcast and you have an umbrella with you, that is.
Just in case. Oh.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So we're 1-1 right now. Fights.
I'm gonna go with the chasing in the wind. I tend to agree with Tommy, but I also I'm not an umbrella user, but I think an umbrella is like a man. Like a man's prepared for the weather, he's prepared for the elements. Like a
like a
city,
British man
like a
thing.
gentleman has an umbrella.
It's a gentleman
yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
Like
Not
again,
It's not
I'm
a guy thing. It's a gentleman.
It's
thing.
yeah, right. I'm not one. I show up everywhere wet. But if most people I see with an umbrella, I'm like, that's a man. Like
You're the most gentleman of all 7 of us, I would say.
Yeah.
Is that just because I'm the only one wearing pants with a button on them?
Could be it. But I think is that a wrong take?
I don't
Oh,
think
he
you're right.
is. He is.
But like gentlemen are like put together. He's kind of a slob a little bit too.
Yeah.
Like you eat candy in bed.
He dresses nice.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
really it.
about it. I care about clothes, but aside from that, like it's like men in 3-piece suits have umbrellas. You're like, oh, that's a fucking man right
Yeah.
there.
Sometimes it's a
That's
cane, though. I think we might be conflating that a little bit.
I don't think so.
They're usually umbrellas more than they're canes.
I think you don't think of like a fancy gentleman holding a cane. Like what do you call it, like Fred Astaire or some shit? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But right now we're 2 for the chasing, 1 for the umbrella. Nick.
Chasing. I've lost my hat a lot of times in the wind, and I like the scamper you do, and my hands are kind of like tucked.
The attempted stomps when you miss
Yeah.
it. Too.
Yeah.
And you start running again.
And then I'm like overcompensating by like swearing like motherfucker. I'm like essentially tiptoeing, running real daintily. It's so embarrassing.
You took the words out. You're doing the dainty run just kind of out of habit for some
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
it just
you're so
happens.
caught off guard, and then strangers see it, and then like once I was in New York, and I was like, oftentimes in public I'm afraid of my own shadow, and I'm embarrassed just to exist, and my hat blew off, and I think it was like I didn't want to chase it, and somebody's like, "Are you going to go get that?" I was like, "No," I just let my hat go.
Combo.
Just let my hat fucking go.
As you guys know, I'm losing my hair, Kenjac. I'll see you
shout out.
in like
In a
3
month,
weeks or
yeah.
whatever, a month.
And I am not, despite that fucking disgusting Photoshop Nick put out last week. I just want that on the
Not
record.
missed that
It wasn't a Photoshop.
In that situation, I'm sucking up all pride and ego and chasing the hat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, have
I'd get
to.
hit by a car.
I have to. I have to.
So we are 3 for chasing, 1 for umbrella. KB.
Chasing something in the wind by far. As soon as you put in effort, as soon as you start to run or go at if something is gone in the wind, you have to be able to walk slowly and stomp it. As soon as you fail, that's embarrassing and feminine. Umbrella, not too much. Like showing up to an establishment soaking wet, that is embarrassing.
You think
But not
so?
feminine.
You can't really control
Women
that.
always be
With
wet.
your hair stuck down and like
Yeah, you're all
see-through
soppy.
shirt.
Can't stay wet
think
the
that's-
entire day.
that's
It'll
boyish.
dry.
just being prepared for what may come is a master.
But you could also
is
wear a
manly
rain jacket.
trait.
It is.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's true.
You're like, I'm up for anything. But if you're wearing like an executive jacket,
You wear a rain jacket, like a trench coat thing over that.
but no hood, like a businessman doesn't wear a
That's
jacket
fair.
with a hood.
That's fair. Yeah.
Are there like tactical umbrellas that are sick and
Oh.
have like patches with Velcro and shit?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I need a tactical umbrella.
Okay, a tall guy with an umbrella, that's manly.
A what?
A tall man.
Yeah.
But a miniature dude with an umbrella, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. Dave.
I'll let the record show that I don't think either of these are too not manly. But when I'm thinking of someone, like if I were like some big finance exec or something, and I'm wearing like a nice ass trench coat with a business casual, you got the slacks on, the nice shoes. If I have an umbrella, I just look like I'm someone important.
It completes the
someone of
look.
Status.
Yeah.
And to me, like you could call those guys douchebags probably, but not not manly.
You can't
they
afford to get wet.
They're the city
exactly
version of men.
right. They don't want to ruin their $5,000 jacket or whatever. So to me, that kind of puts it like away from me. So I'm gonna go with chasing in the wind. That's pretty. Yeah.
So chasing in the wind is going to move on. Now we have the 8 seed versus the 9 seed. The 8 seed is I kind of have to like act it out a little bit. The way the person spin it is person spin on Instagram. You go, it's cold out, and you go like this. Whew.
Oh.
And you rub your
I
arms
did
to
that
warm
when I
yourself
walked
up.
into this office 20 minutes ago.
That is pretty not manly, but
So shivering and then rubbing your arms to warm yourself up and saying it's chilly. And that's going up against the number 9 seed. We kind of mentioned it, I think, earlier. Soft handshakes. Just a real soft handshake. If you get alpha, I think I could also add into this. Have you ever, like, I don't have, like, giant hands. So, like, every now and then I'll shake a guy's hand with giant hands, and you get, like, alpha'd by the guy's massive hand, and that sucks. Like, you can't even get your hand into, like, the grip of it. It's not
I've
good.
never been that. I've never seen a hand that large.
Dude, it happened to me. Gronk caught you?
Gronk, I swear to God, he scratched my it was my whole forearm. It's the only time it's ever happened. The only and I have tiny hands, so like I'm sure I've met many people with bigger hands than me. Gronk, I was like, what the fuck am I even shaking right now?
Yeah, I forget what actor it was. One of those guys. I think Timothy Simons, the guy from.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Dude, fucking like my entire same thing. Like my entire hand. Having a soft handshake versus that shiver combo that we mentioned before. White Sox Dave.
It's the handshake 100%. It's freezing in the studio right now. It's legit. What temperature would you put the studio at? 60 degrees?
It's pretty cold.
It's fucking freezing. I walked in, I was like, ooh, I did it. That doesn't make me not a man. Other things do, but not that. I have been alpha'd in the handshake thing plenty, and that's never not just like you put your head down, you're like, I'm not as good as this guy because of that.
Yep. And it's
That's and this is like a very common, like we're fucking around on this show, but like many people think that if you don't have a good handshake, like you're a complete pussy.
Yeah, like dads teach you that, right? Like your
Yeah,
dad's like, one
exactly.
thing, like you want a strong handshake.
Right. Like if I walked up to my dad and shook his hand with like a limp wrist and shit, he'd be like, what the fuck was that? Like not even kidding. He would say that.
So one for the soft handshake, KB.
Yeah, handshake is page 1. Like the most masculine body part a man can have is a big, strong hand that's rugged.
2 for the handshake, Nick.
Yeah, it's handshake. It haunts me. I use a Kiehl's hand salve every morning to keep, and I don't like my hands being dry, and it's just the repercussion is that it probably feels like the interior of a pussy.
Double good.
What was that thing people would do in middle school where like you do like this?
Oh, yeah,
and
right.
This, and then you put the other hand in
Yeah,
between.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not totally
What does
accurate.
it look like?
Not
Looks like
accurate.
my hand.
No.
Fights.
I think I'm gonna go with the. It depends. This is kind of like the ew thing. Like, are you doing it to be silly? Then it's fine. Are you? If you don't I raw dog a shiver. I'll shiver, but I go, "Huh," and then you just leave it alone. If you start trying to warm yourself up post shiver, you trying to like console yourself.
yeah, it's hard to beat that.
If you do an extended self soothe like that,
Yeah,
You
has to
can't
be
rub
quick.
yourself. You
It has to
exhale into the
start
hand.
really-
it's chilly.
That's fine.
Yeah. If you're going like this,
for a long.
is it chilly in here? Is it me or is it chilly?
The teeth chatter is scary. That's some Scooby Doo shit.
I like a teeth chatter though. It feels homey. There's something about it. Yeah, it feels classic.
Where'd you grow up?
I love doing the teeth chatter. It has me on every time I do it.
Wow, that might be the only opinion on teeth chatter that anyone's ever had. Like, that's supposed to be the most unique opinion.
Homie.
Never expected that to
I
come
love
out. So raw soft handshake. You're going with the shiver though.
I think I'm gonna go. I mean, a soft handshake is as bad as it gets. I don't know. This is a tough one. I guess I don't run into enough bad handshakes to have real experience on it, so I'm gonna stick with shiver.
1 for shiver, Tommy.
I'm going shiver too. I mean, the handshake's bad. It's basic bad, but there's an element where I don't know, it might not be your fault or. To me, like going out of your way to shiver, to rub yourself, even to say the words "it's chilly" or "it's a little nippy out," I think is very not manly.
I think Tommy's opinion is also swayed by the fact that probably the worst handshaker.
No, I have a decent handshake.
No. It's not you. It's Dave.
Put it there.
I've noticed this about him.
I think Dave is one of the most perfect handshakes I've ever had. No, but I'm very pro handshake because I'm so bad at dapping. and whatever it comes next, where it's like if we could just all stick to a handshake, that'd be great. I'm gonna go with. I think the shiver one's a good call.
Yep. 2 for shivering, 1 for the soft handshake. Glenny.
Ooh, soft handshake, easily. I mean, a handshake is once again, it's like a handshake. A firm handshake is such a manly thing that this is a way less manly thing.
Yeah, it is like the day one
it's
thing.
like when you meet somebody, you could just tell how they are by their handshake. And then if you see a guy that's like an alpha, you're like, oh, that guy's got an alpha handshake. And I love giving that compliment to people. I love shaking people's hands and be like, oh.
Good handshake.
Nice
and you
shake,
know
man.
they love
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, yeah, they
a
do.
nice shake. I was like, damn, you got a good handshake, brother.
It is a great
We were
early
talking
compliment.
like top compliments to get. Good handshakes, pretty fucking up
You
there.
know, my
Yeah.
favorite compliment ever is when people compliment me ordering food at a restaurant. That's my favorite.
Glenny, you ordered so much.
I love that. Like, they're like, oh wow, you did great. I was like, that's
You did great.
He's a great quarterback at a dinner
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
You'll take charge.
Oh, that is
if I could be
impressive.
remembered,
I
if I
like-
could be remembered for one thing, it would be that. Yeah.
I like going out to dinners with somebody who takes charge. Francis as well.
I think the
Glenny will
hottest
take
thing.
charge. Appetizers, entrees, we'll split this, we'll split
Martinis.
that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But when the server decides for me, I gush. I think that's the hottest thing in the world.
Yeah.
When you ask like, what would you recommend, and they give it, they.
No, they just tell you you're gonna want this with this.
Yeah, that's so hot.
And yeah.
Waiters turn me on an insane amount.
Waiters or waitresses?
I'm talking about men.
Yeah, I'm specific. It's the most attracted I ever am to men is to a good waiter.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I think you might be
Yeah.
onto something there. This is probably the least
Yeah.
manly part of this episode.
Not like a construction worker or a
Nah,
cop
they do
or a
nothing for me.
firefighter.
You have a fetish.
I mean,
Those are
I'm
men.
talking-
Those are men in
man-
uniform.
It's like the YMCA.
Talking about manly
you just named
guys.
every
You're
member of the
just-
YMCA.
yeah.
That's what I was going for. Yeah, the YMCA. But those are like traditionally manly professions. You
Yeah.
go for like the
I go
more
for a
things-
waiter reading out a special menu. He doesn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
need to look at it.
Doesn't need to write down what the table orders.
Oh, that's such a cocky move.
no, I got
Don't
it.
write it down. Yeah.
And you ask me like, hey,
Or if they recommend something to you and then you eat it, the plate's clean. He's like, not bad, huh? I told you.
They might be the hottest people alive.
Like a hot male waiter. That's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I don't even want them to be good looking per se. It's their aura.
So the soft handshakes can move on. Now we have the 1 seed versus the 16 seed chain. We'll do the chain first. One of the most submitted ones, and just one that didn't feel like there was a ton, like, it wouldn't be as fun or funny to talk about. Being a lib. Glenny, Glenny, you admit it, you had it on there. White Sox Dave,
put
you had it on
voting for
there.
Kamala.
You did that, which is basically being a lib. Very highly submitted. And on the things, it just felt like there was like a limit to how much we could possibly joke about that. So being a lib, going up against using emojis in texts, going up against using exclamation points in text. I think
Those are both mine. I think those are very not manly. You won't
I'm
catch
like,
me dead
Go
using an emoji non-ironically.
I will. I'm an emoji user, not frequent, but to certain people, yes.
Like, will you use like the crying, laughing emoji?
No. It's like a kiss. It's like a kiss, or like if I'm just like going like, okay, cool. I'll just have.
I'll
like,
occasionally do a salute. Like
Yeah,
that
I do
yeah.
is
salute
fine.
half
I do
head.
salute a
Yep.
lot.
Yeah, but like if we're talking like if you're using crying, laughing emojis, you are.
No.
gay.
Yeah.
am I gay? I use them all the time.
I think using them condescendingly is cool.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
well,
I'm
definitely.
laughing
I
at
don't-
someone is fun.
Yeah.
I think some communities do use them, and it doesn't like ring any bells.
Yeah, see, I get where you're going.
There's
at.
I think a lot of people I respect do use them, but I could never.
Caleb's an emoji guy.
See, example.
Glenny, have you noticed that?
He loves the salute emoji. I know that. Yeah, he does. And he found a new emoji recently that's like double salutes.
Of course, he found a new one. Caleb, of course, found a new one.
cool.
But it sends us like a sticker though. It's like a sticker, but it's the salute guy going double salutes.
I didn't know
Oh
this
my
was even a
God.
thing.
Yeah, it's pretty rock and roll.
So you
Guy has it all.
You also had using exclamation points in a text.
Yeah, I think that's.
Dude,
not
I
manly.
started it like I don't know a couple years ago, and it was like I've just become drunk with it.
I do it in emails. I don't do it on
I use
text.
exclamation points all.
Again, I'll use it for like comedic effect or ironically. I'll never dead seriously. I
don't
see you at 8! Exclamation point. No,
I'll do
I don't
it.
want to come
I do
across
it.
mean in emails.
That's exactly
so
what
every you won't catch me using a period in email. Everything
Yes.
exclamation point.
It's you're like overcompensating for the tone you have that it's completely unfair because you're sending an email and they're not expecting you to like be pissed off or anything.
Yeah.
But you in the back of your head you're like, man, I sound like I'm pissed responded to this.
Yeah,
And then you just
I'm
add a bunch of exclamation points.
the exact for the exact same reason. I don't want people to think I'm mad, so I use an exclamation point.
Yes.
It's almost like that, like the meme where it's like me typing my face when I type ha 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 or whatever, and it's like a very stoic face.
Yeah.
like I'm never excited,
But it's
I'm just
almost
using-
insulting if somebody like thinks we don't know each other well enough, where they have to do something like that to think that I would be mad or not know what they're saying.
That's fair. I
Like,
get that.
I with like a few of my friends from high school in our group chat were never allowed to use like LOL or haha.
Yeah.
Because that's just like so demeaning. Like, LOL, good one, dude. Like, come on. We're better than that.
LMAO made a big comeback. I feel like that was in the depths of hell, and then people started using it again.
LMAO is like sarcastic now. I think.
Yeah.
I saw someone say something like millennials use lol, haha, whatever version of it you use, like people use stop on Morse code.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's exactly what we do.
After exclamation points, we have frolicking. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's tough to frolic in a manly fashion. Someone putting your hands on your hips with your thumbs in the front. And we tested this out, me and Glenny earlier, and yeah, it does. Like,
Oh my god.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, Glenny, can I see it?
doing-
I didn't test it out yet, but I can try.
That's
Yeah.
What the
Hello,
fuck is
sir.
that? Oh yeah, when you go real high.
Yeah.
that's no good.
That's bad.
That's bad, but I don't
Who
think I've ever
submitted
seen
that? That
someone
was a
do
random
that.
submission.
That's not comfortable.
I've seen.
That's like a sassy gay guy doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Being afraid to drive on the highway.
Tommy.
No, I think that's just smart, safe, safe behavior.
And then last one from Dave, controlling your temper. Not
Are you a
manly-
wall puncher?
Table hitter.
Table hitter. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big, or I
With the- with-
was a big wall puncher.
You were a wall puncher,
no.
I would
Feits?
never expect
Yeah.
that.
Like
Big
holes
time.
in the wall.
Holes
So-
in the wall, dog.
I have punched walls where it fucks up your knuckles.
Yeah.
But if you hit the like bottom part just real hard, you're not doing nothing to your hand. You might break it if you hit it hard enough, but you're not like you won't see anything. There won't be blood or nothing. So that's my go.
When I moved out of my college apartment, it was like they were like, "What the fuck happened here?"
Jesus.
It was like,
Christ.
I mean, it was like probably 3 to 5, but that's a lot.
That's too many.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Do you want to know what happened to my college apartment?
Yes.
Sure.
We moved out of it and they literally burnt it to the ground. They literally burnt it to the ground.
Wait, they did a controlled
Yeah,
burn?
it was along a river that was on like a floodplain, and they burnt it down. But we like to tell people that it was because we were just having so much fun in it. But it was
Where'd you go to college?
North Central College.
Okay.
Small.
That sounds like a college from like a movie that they would make up. Like it
It does.
the North Central Lions or something.
I'm sure there might.
Ironically enough, they're like the Bama of Division III football.
I'm sure there might be
Yeah.
something like this on here, but I was just specifically thinking
They are.
is
They win the-
referring to runs in baseball as points or giving the score.
Oh, that's a great
or
one.
giving the
Yeah.
score of a game with the losing
yeah.
team first.
Yeah, like
there
yeah,
was
that.
nothing like yeah, it's 17-27.
Calling umps
That
refs.
might be the best one I've
or,
heard.
Yeah.
mislabeling arenas as like, you know, it's a ballpark or a stadium.
That's
or
a
rink.
good one.
So to me, this is like if you ever watch
Is there anything on the bracket
not
like
specifically
this?
that. So I'll add this one, and I'll say it's specifically to me is like in Inglourious Basterds when like the guy says 3 instead of 3.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
those
yeah.
sports moments. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, you don't know. Like
If I
those
had
type
to
of-
boil it down to like one specific thing, I think it would be giving the losing score first.
losing score
Yeah.
first, yeah. So we'll-
Points and runs is bad too.
So let's
but-
say like sports vernacular, I guess, or
Yeah.
sports jargon. So to Glenny, you'll start us off. Being a lib, using emojis, exclamation points, frolicking, hands on the hips, being afraid to drive on the highway, controlling your temper, or sports jargon.
For the sake of the podcast, I think I'm going to go sports jargon.
Sports jargon. 1 for the sports jargon.
Is this
Tommy.
coming out tomorrow, by the way?
No, come out Thursday.
on election day? Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, if
okay.
we're being serious, it's walking into that voting booth tomorrow and saying Donald Trump's a threat to democracy. I'm voting for Tim Walz. But since we don't want to turn this into an hour and a half of politics, I'll say the sports jar, the losing turn. It makes me want to spit on people when they say it backwards. It's like, come on, or referring to like periods or quarters incorrectly. You know, calling
Yeah.
it whatever the opposite.
Sports ball. That guy sucks. Like the guy who's like,
Sports-
you're watching the
Yeah.
sports ball? Oh. Fights.
I was going to vote being a lib, but I'm going to go with sports.
sports jargon. Nick.
Yeah, the dude at the Super Bowl party that's like they're playing a game around a Beyonce concert.
Yeah.
I saw both
Jesus
teams.
Christ.
Or hypothetically playing against AOC and Madden and saying, "Let's run the pick six play."
Oh my god, I was
AOC runs a good pick six.
Yep.
he couldn't handle a fucking gun.
KB.
Yeah, it's this not knowing basic sports nomenclature, like calling a UFC fight a game or like periods, rounds. No.
Dave.
Yeah, that's the answer. My sister, she's married now and everything, but my dad throws a Kentucky Derby party every year. She brought a guy she was dating like 10 years ago to the party, and he was doing just this, and I had to fake like I liked the fucking guy to
Was
his
he doing
face.
it
And me-
ironically or genuinely?
No. He was talking. I mean, not many people know horses, so I wasn't talking about that. Like baseball was on and shit. It's middle of May, and he's like runs and periods. And what period is it? I was sickened.
What'd your dad think? I'd love to know.
Oh my! That was the first thing. So the first thing my dad did was my dad's got a big ass lot. He's got like an acre, which is about the size of a football field, and he told the kid to go deep with a football. And the kid went deep. It was like Scotty Smalls trying to catch the baseball in Sandlot for the first time. And then he tried to throw it back. It was like I was throwing the ball lefty. And my dad and I looked at each other like, not this guy.
You still give her hell
You
about
live in a
this.
sitcom.
Yeah.
Well, that's absolutely something that should be judged.
You definitely still give her hell about this, don't you?
Oh, she lives in Germany now, but like when I see her at family functions and shit, sure. Every time.
So sports jargon is going to go up to number.
I'm going to change my vote. I'm changing it to being a lib.
Being a lib? Okay.
So we had to have one in there.
It's definitively funny that like we gotta protect women. Like you're gonna.
This is gonna get clipped. Some anti-Barca.
Look, the call's coming from inside the house, but it's definitively being a lib.
Yeah.
I will say there was a lot of
Utter lack of self-respect.
there were a lot of very funny responses to this prompt, where there was a lot of guys saying like voting to let other men control women's bodies, and it's like, come on, man.
Responding with that is the least manly thing you can do.
Not being able to joke around about abortion rights.
It's
so unmanly.
So one vote, one switch to.
I think deep down, liberal women don't even like liberal men. They're like, oh, this guy's gay.
You literally, we talked about this before. Tommy, imagine how much money Tommy would make as a right-wing
He would be
grifter.
such a
He would
good-
be a
he would be
millionaire.
so
overnight.
good at it.
I was gonna say no, you wouldn't, because you're so not manly. But I guess
That
most
doesn't
of them
matter
are.
anymore,
Yeah.
Do you think Ben Shapiro is
Charlie
The Rock?
Charlie Kirk. Yeah.
He would really be phenomenal.
You
so
would
good at it.
put them all to
We'll see
shame.
what my career's
How
looking
could-
like in 2028.
Like I wonder if like Ben Shapiro or is it Kirk or Crick?
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
Kirk. I wonder if they have like friends, like I am your friend, and if you became a right wing guy, I'd be like, guy's the
Not
biggest
even- not
fucking
even for the
pussy
paycheck?
in the world, dude. I actually, but to your point, the liberal women thing. I watched Speak No Evil the other night, a movie. It's a great movie. And it's like it's very clearly like one family that's raised on right wing media, one family raised on left wing. And there's one point where the wife is just like, "Your family." This is of the liberal family. It's like, "Your family needs you. Just be a fucking man one time."
I'll give you guys a chance to switch if you want to. Fight
Yeah,
to switch.
we've had our fun with that. we got it out there.
But like, if somebody's like
we do want to see
saying,
it on the graphic.
Yeah, can we
It'll
put
be on the
graphic? Yeah,
don't
yeah,
be
yeah.
worried. It might be the one seat when the graphic comes out. Yeah,
but
just
like, if somebody is like using the wrong sports nomenclature, they're a lib for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
My
Can
cousin
you
actually-
imagine a man wearing a Harris Waltz like shirt in public?
My cousin just moved to Minnesota, and I had a beer with him in Minnesota a few weeks ago. He's not really a big sports guy. He was like, "Yeah, the Twins were having a good season, and then the Marliners took them out."
So sports jargon is going to go up. It's number one seed. Just one that is just such a hilarious image. Holding your nose when you jump into a pool, body of water, any of that. When you see a guy, hold their nose
That's
in.
Tommy with his little pencil dive.
I mean, I don't dive into bodies of water that much nowadays, but as a kid, once in a while.
So jumping into a body of water, holding that nose, going up against the not knowing sports jargon. Let's start with you, White Sox Dave.
Not knowing sports jargon.
Not knowing sports jargon. KB.
This is close. This is good. Like diving, like jumping into a body of water feet first, and like first off, like holding the nose doesn't do anything. So if that's like your gut like your gut impulse, I think that might be worse.
I'm trying to think like who's like the most manly man you can imagine. Like if the liver, I don't want to say the liver king, but like a guy that like the liver king type guy held his nose before jumping in water, you would think a little bit less, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
There's a tier of masculine men who don't give a fuck about sports.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a
Yeah.
small margin, but there are some.
Like Rogan, he only likes UFC.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, they get to a point where they have to like go hunt to
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
alive.
Yeah,
Like
right,
they're not
right.
watching the Seahawks.
They're
and
watching like
Cardinals.
pro bass fishing or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. So one for the sports jargon, KB. You're gonna go with the holding
holding the nose. Yeah.
Nick,
Yeah, it's holding the nose.
it's holding the nose. Fight.
Like holding your nose even for like water or if something stinky, anything like that. You shouldn't mention touch the nose.
I want to smell that. I want to smell that. That wasn't manly.
What
It
about
was
like
alpha
putting
as
it in
fuck.
your arm?
That's fine.
That's fine. Okay.
or like if you pulled your shirt over your, even that I think is actually kind of bad.
That's fine, I think.
I think that's.
No, I
actually-
think that's fine.
So we're 2 for holding the nose, 1 for sports jargon.
Yeah, it's definitely as bad as sports jargon is. You have to factor in the fact that it is also incredibly manly to not know about sports. So I'm gonna
Oh
go,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
dude. I always tell the story. I went to an Eagles game with like Shane and a bunch of his buddies, and like a bunch of his buddies, just like blue collar dudes. And I was trying to ingratiate myself to the crew, and one guy looked like very like look like he just got off the work job site, and I was like, "Hey man, you a big Birds fan?" And he just looks me dead in the eyes and goes, "If you can name 3 guys on this team, you're gay."
That's the guy I'm talking about. Yeah.
I was like,
I got a fucking family to raise.
I was like, oh shit, my bad,
And you
dude.
know what? He's right though.
Yeah, knowing
he is
there's
right.
that many men, like knowing all about them.
Yeah,
He's correct.
Knowing their hometowns, some would say, maybe. Tommy.
This is tough. I mean, the body of water one's. I mean, it's just so rare. Like, how often do you see a
Right.
man holding their nose jumping into a body of water? Or
I'm
just
But when
at,
you
like
see
the
it-
local pool.
But
Yeah,
when you
cool,
see
like-
it, you're like, what the
yeah, I mean,
fuck?
listen, no one wants water in their nose.
Imagine if like you saw your dad do that. Like,
I would be like, all right, good. He's not getting any water in his
no, you wouldn't.
I'm gonna go with the sports jargon. So I feel like it's a little more common. I do agree that, but I'm not talking about the people who are so manly they don't care. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
the guy trying to care about,
Trying to make sure you know they don't care. You know what I mean?
Yes,
No,
yes, yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
thinking about the guy who like is trying to make you think he knows sports,
Oh,
but he
okay.
doesn't.
Still doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's as least manly. I think.
3-2 in favor of holding the nose, Glenny.
Am I crazy or does like it hurts a lot when you jump in the water with your nose open?
We just,
It hurts a lot.
It
It's
hurts.
very
hurts your
fine with
nose?
holding my
Your nose open,
It hurts
like
a
you're
lot.
flaring them out.
Yeah, I really remember it hurting a lot. I'm going with.
I usually just do like this,
sports
like
jargon.
you like, or something like you block your nose with your lip, basically.
I never thought about that, but no, it hurts. I'm going sports jargon.
Going sports jargon. All right, if I had to break the tie between these two, holding the nose and the sports jargon, I think the sports jargon one, if we're talking about different guys, I think the guy that wants you to know that he hates sports, that guy I hate. And that guy
Yeah,
I think is not
that's-
manly.
yeah.
The guy that you're talking about, though, where they're like just trying to fit in, I don't care as much about that guy. It's just like more they're learning, whatever. The other guy I hate. So I would do the sports jargon, but it would be close. So sports jargon's going to move on. Next, we have the number 6 seed versus the 11 seed. The 6 seed is, and White Sox Dave alluded to this earlier, bad form when you're throwing a ball. So like they're throwing a baseball, throwing a football, throwing whatever, and it just looks weird the way they throw it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah,
almost looks
yeah,
like
yeah.
when you throw, like you were saying, left-handed or with your offhand. And that's going up against the number 11 seed. Ironic we have you back on, Glenny, because we did talk about this a while back. Needing help reaching something.
Oh yeah.
Needing help. You're at the supermarket, you can't reach the top shelf. You got to
What
call
was
over the ladder.
topic?
Glenny, I forget which one it was, but
I don't know. I remember Pat acting like the supermarkets in Massachusetts were like for giants.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
He
I
was
said,
like,
I couldn't reach the top shelf at a supermarket in Massachusetts.
same with Clemmer. He was like, yeah, New England, all their
Yeah.
supermarkets are taller. And we're like, what are you talking about?
Look, I'm gonna defend him a little bit. I can picture what they're talking about.
They're just
like
tall.
we have like a 4th row.
Okay.
And it's like I can't really. The market I shop in now, I have to jump to get chips, and I do it.
You jump to get chips?
Yeah, dude.
like a
Do you
monkey.
make sure no one's in the aisle?
As no, I
Before you
fucking just
jump?
do it, man. I just jump up and get chips. It's they're like above. So this is West Side Market. If
Yeah.
you probably know it. above the freezer is where they keep chips I like. So it's like the big freezers they have, and then there's a shelf above it. Like there's no one who can reach it. I bet other people have to go get someone to help. I can at least jump and get it on my own.
You're not an inconvenience.
Yeah.
So bad form throwing versus asking help reaching something, Glenny.
Ooh. As a bad form thrower myself, like I'm really bad at throwing football, embarrassing. I just throw knuckleballs. I feel very, very embarrassed every time I do it, so I'm going to go with the bad form for throwing.
1 for the bad form throwing.
Yeah, I'm going the bad form. I mean, if you can't reach something, that's to a degree out of your control. Like bad form throwing is, it's a tough one. And we've had, and I actually think because I played sports growing up until everyone hit puberty and I didn't, so I have a decent, a less gay form than people would think. But like, I feel like we've had videos in the office where you gotta like throw, and I don't know, you're not going to throw all the fucking way, so you kind of do throw a little dainty. Then people are like, oh, you must throw dainty. It's like, no, if we're on a fucking field, I'd be throwing like a man.
You've been thinking about those comments for a long time.
Anyway, it's whatever.
2 for the throwing.
Yeah.
Fights.
It's definitively bad form throwing.
3 for bad form throwing, Nick.
Tommy, I disagree with your out of your control. That's what makes it worse. Like, I'm not a real man. I can't reach this.
I guess. So are we just saying being short makes you not a real man?
It definitely affects being a man. Yes.
Yeah, I don't disagree with
No,
that.
I don't love that either. There's some badass little guys.
Sure, you're arguing.
That sounded so unmanly, though.
Yeah, like there's some badass little teensy men.
You're a badass little guy, aren't you, buddy?
Oh my God, he's angry too. No, but it is form throwing.
Another for bad form throwing, KB.
The best things are up so high. The most expensive items, the things you really want.
Aren't they like at eye level? So it's more of a subliminal, like unconscious. You want to buy them because you're seeing them more.
I don't. Some of the I don't know, but I've. The worst is when you're close and you do a little jump. You might.
Yeah.
Then you start climbing. And
Have you climbed?
I've climbed for cereal. And then here's where it will defeat the other one is when you ask for help and they don't bring a ladder. They just get it.
No.
But otherwise, it is the poor throwing. That should be automatic.
Poor throwing, Dave.
It's poor throwing. I submitted this. This was the first thing that came to my mind. I said this a couple of weeks ago. I think it was on the Yak. That I absolutely judge men based on how they throw or catch. If you can't just catch a football naturally and make it look like you at least played in high school, then you're less of a man. If you throw and you're like, that's less of a man. And I would be
Or
European. That my arm is so strong that I almost convinced a guy to commit because I beat him, emasculated him so bad.
Dude, I remember the first time when I was in college playing catch with like my roommates, and I was just so in awe. Like, 'cause every guy I grew up playing sports, so every man I was around could just throw stuff, and and it was their idea. I remember it so vividly. It was like they were like, "You want to go play catch?" And we got outside, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening right now? Why can none of you throw?"
Just like
It's crazy. I judge him.
Anyone want to go to the catch? I'm gonna catch.
I'd love to play
I'd love
catch.
to go to the fucking catch.
It's one of my favorite things on earth. You guys remember that though, when I almost not convinced, but someone that used to work at Barstool almost committed because I outthrew him
they
by
came
that
close,
much.
if I remember correctly.
Would that be like the manliest thing you've ever done?
Oh, without question.
Yeah.
I would wear that like a badge of honor on my chest.
You would bring that up to like people?
Constantly.
Yeah, it's like in
Right?
your bio on Twitter. Do you remember when Malasek tried to throw one of those like Nerf, like what do they call the whistle football? Whatever it's called. They try to throw the Vortex, right? He's like, yeah, I could throw this a full city block, and he didn't make it 1/4 of the way there.
That's
like
tough.
that.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
A city block's a long way. That's like 100 yards.
Yeah.
Dude, he was convinced. There was no doubt in his mind. He didn't, not even close to halfway there. It was so funny.
City block
I think
Dude, avenue-wise.
Oh, an avenue's tough.
Yeah.
Like,
It was insane.
I was gonna say city blocks. I don't think that hard. But
This way to that, like, yeah, across is impossible across the avenue. So
That's an eighth of a mile in Chicago.
yeah, but yeah, pretty tough. So now 3 seed versus 14 seed. The 3 seed is covering your noise when an ambulance goes by, or covering your ears when an ambulance comes by, or
Nobody
loud.
does
I've seen this happen in New York City multiple times. And, like,
I've seen it happen a ton.
Yeah, like I was like an old.
that's pathetic.
dude. It's
I-
bad.
I do it. Yeah. It's my least favorite thing in the world.
It is
loud
bad,
siren.
yeah.
And
I
I
was
do
gonna
it
say, I
just
don't cover
to
my
show
ears.
people like this is ridiculous.
Yours is more for show than it is for
Yeah.
protection.
It's like
I'll be, like, on a
you need
phone
to lower
call.
this decibel. Yeah.
And I'll be like,
Are you trying to be like a
let's just stop
pioneer?
for a second.
Like if someone, what do you mean?
Like you're at the forefront of making it okay.
It's more to show
cover
like
your
if someone
ears.
makes like a car, like a honk that's too loud, like I have to show them that
Oh no.
You're
That's not what I'm
being-
talking about. Like that's kind of a way of calling them out.
yeah.
But no, I was talking about like you want to lead the charge of saying it's okay to cover your ears, and I would be behind you in that charge because I cover my ears.
Okay. Yeah.
So cover.
It is pretty bad, but
Yeah. So covering the ears is going up against number 14 seed using a straw. So using a straw was submitted a lot. People think that
Really?
using a straw is not manly. And I think it depends on what you're using the straw for. Like if I see a guy using a straw on like a canned soda, that I'm like, wow,
That's pathetic.
That's no good. That's no good. But if it's like certain other things, like a tall glass or something, like maybe whatever. So the covering your ears from a loud noise coming by. Other people also submitted like earplugs and stuff. Going up against using a straw. Dave.
I eat straws.
And you're a man.
Yeah, I'm a man, right?
You almost had a man kill himself.
what was the
You
second
threw
one
so
again?
fast.
Exactly.
Covering your ears.
Covering your ears, I guess. I do it. I mean, I do both these things. If I'm having, my very masculine vodka soda at a bar, then I'm using a straw.
You're very masculine. Vodka soda. One for covering your one for covering your ears. KB.
yeah, I guess it's covering your ears because like straws I think they're fine.
Yeah, you're drinking a cocktail. You have a straw.
I think it depends again on the vessel that you're drinking out of.
Right.
Nick.
It's not using the straw, it's chasing the straw around the drink whenever you kind of miss it. Or you're looking down.
With your tongue.
Like,
Or,
that's bad. But it's the loud noise.
Covering,
There's like men in there. There's like firemen going to burn out a fire, and you can't handle just
Yeah.
being around it.
it's me.
yeah.
It's bad.
That's-
3 for covering
Good
your
point.
ears.
I'm covering yours as well. I think the straw thing comes from Ryan Gosling in Crazy Stupid Love. Because he gets
Definitely.
mad at Steve Carell for using it, and he's like, it looks like a schwanz. And I think basing your opinion off what the character in a movie you like is the least manly.
You tell me
thing possible.
basing your opinion off a Ryan Gosling character is not cool?
Like, I feel like that really picked up steam after that movie. Like,
Unless it's Drive.
Unless it's straw.
I'm not even a
It's the
big
only
straw guy. I don't really use straws at all. But like, there's nothing wrong with using a straw.
It's a very popular like hinge girl thing. Like I went on a date with a girl once. Her hinge thing was like, whatever, biggest red flag, a man who uses
Yeah,
a straw.
'cause
Like
she
they
watched
think-
Crazy Stupid
right,
Love,
like
and the
they
tough
think
guy
they're
didn't
like
like it.
very. They think like, ooh, this is a good one.
Yeah.
This is a unique
Yeah.
one. He'll think I'm edgy if I put this one in there.
And then you end up on a
You're
date with you.
dumb bitch.
A straw, also like an umbrella, is very useful. You stir the drink with it. You-
Completely necessary. If I'm gonna have a Malibu Bay Breeze and put my tongue on the icky glass,
We're all covering ears right now.
yeah,
Tom?
covering your ear. That's pathetic.
Covering your ears. Glenny.
I'm obsessed with straws. Obsessed.
Quote card.
There it is.
I also can't really. I guess it kind of is
have
not.
it in
It
here.
feels a little less manly when I do it. I straight up can't drink a drink that's not without a straw.
What do you mean?
Like I was at a concert a few weeks ago at Petco Park, and they were giving straws with the vodka sodas. So I had to like sip the vodka soda, and there was so much ice in it. I was sitting there sipping it for hours. I can't do it. My teeth get cold.
You got to wrap your top lip around your top teeth. That's the trick.
Are you smiling into the glass?
Basically, it's
No,
too cold.
wrap your lip around.
You got to use
So
your
you
lips as a
don't-
barrier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try that.
It's like a filter for the ice. So covering your ears is going to move on. Now we have the number 7 seed versus the 10 seed. The 7 seed is swinging your feet when you're on a chair that's too tall. Just doing one of those. I think you could also add on to this. You ever see like when a guy's laying down on his stomach on like a bed or something and they're swinging their feet behind them? I think you could also add that onto it. And
Yeah.
that's going up against number 10 seed, blowing on soup or a hot coffee.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
to
that's
cool it
great.
down. That was also
I'm not trying to
submitted.
burning your
ATO.
mouth sucks.
You either gotta suck it. I guess the idea is they want you to either suck it up and get burned or wait for it to naturally cool down. Swinging your feet off of a high chair versus blowing on super hot drinks, Glenny.
I do both of these things. So I'm going to go with swinging your feet, I guess. I mean, I don't want to burn my mouth. I'd rather not have a burned mouth. And I love soups. I like a chili. I love a soup. I blow on it constantly.
Oh, I love
a good
chili.
bisque, like a hot bisque. Yeah, I'll blow that shit out. I want to eat it, but I don't want to hurt myself.
We made our first chili of the season
best.
a couple days ago.
So good.
So good.
Love chili.
Tommy.
Yeah, I don't love either of these. I feel like it's rare to see the feet swing too
I
much.
do it on roller coasters. That's where.
Well, I mean, you have to.
but
Your feet are touching the ground.
I'm saying, I friggin'.
Oh yeah, there's nothing
Intentionally-
better with no shoes on,
Yeah.
swinging your little tootsies
Remember
in the
we
air.
went to
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was one of the greatest days ever. We went to SeaWorld at 28. Versus, I mean, that's just a survival thing. Blowing on soup is human evolution. So I'll go with swinging the feet, I guess.
2 for swinging the feet fights.
Swinging the feet for sure.
For sure, no question. Nick?
I think it's one of the coolest things that a human can dictate what temperature they want their exhale to be. You do cold or hot. That's crazy. We can just do that. But I got my hair cut a couple months ago, and the barber chair didn't have the bottom footrest on
no.
this one. So she like raised up the chair, and I'm just like kicking my feet. It was horrible, man. It makes you feel like you're in a high chair.
Yeah.
That.
Swinging the feet, KB?
It's swinging the feet. I am a cold dinner guy. I'll just put any fresh meal goes into the fridge for 10 minutes.
No.
Yeah, it's
No.
It
Even
is-
like
I
a
am
chicken
embarrassed.
parmesan.
Like every meal my girlfriend makes, I make her put it in the fridge.
I don't have the strength that you have, but you're making the right move.
Because I think it's a masculine reason. Because I like to devour. I like to.
Yeah,
That
When
sounded
it's
manly.
devouring is so masculine.
When
That
it's
sounded
scalding
manly.
hot, I don't want to have to like. Oop, but the other people do. So I'm gonna wait till it's of a temperature I can devour.
Oh, so you don't need
is
it cold. You
manliest
just don't
thing.
want it hot.
I just can't. It can't be too hot.
I like it room temp as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same.
I like a room temp meal.
Devouring is funny. Dave?
That's insane. I mean, it's what were the two again?
Swinging the
he's
feet versus,
fucking me up.
blowing
It's
on the
swinging
soup,
your
yeah.
feet. I mean,
the
like
feet.
if I'm picturing, I'll just say it, a gay guy, then he's swinging
Yeah,
his
you
feet.
said it like 20 times
know.
today.
Oh, I don't know why you stopped yourself at this point.
He's swinging his feet and probably laying down on a bed and like they're
Getting his ass fucked. Swinging your feet as you're getting your ass
Yeah.
fucked.
While swinging his feet, yeah.
Getting fucked gaily.
Yeah, if you're getting pegged by a girl, no way you're swinging your feet in the back of it. So swinging feet's gonna move on. Now we have the 2 seed versus the 15 seed, second play-in. Second play-in option is talking about your problems from Dave, believe it or not. Talking about your problems in any way. Sitting cross-legged with a hand over one knee. So you were so close. If you each had like a hand on your knee, it would be there. But
Wait, just this?
Heidelberg had it. Heidelberg
yeah,
had
no,
it at the
I'll
beginning
definitely
of the
bust
show.
I
that
don't
one
think
out.
this is that. No.
I think they're talking about like when it's
Kinda
more
comfy.
forward
I'll go like this
and
sometimes.
like that.
I mean, if you're going
That's
like this,
That's what we're
gay.
talking about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like this is not manly at all.
Yes, agreed.
No.
Yeah.
I'll do it, but no, it's not.
I just think that's uncomfortable.
Letting your wife put her luggage up on the airplane from Glenny Balls. Letting her
Oh,
put
yeah.
the luggage up on the top rack. Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
love helping people with luggage. when
It's
I'm
such
playing
a delicate dance, though. Like I
Yeah.
usually let them try first. And
Yeah, you
then
don't wanna
once-
be
I don't want to just be
rude.
like, you can't do it. Let me get it.
Yep.
It's you gotta find your window to pop in.
Using chapstick. I know one person here that will not like that one. Nick.
I love chapstick. I'm constantly doing it.
Using chapstick. Getting proposed to.
Oh my god.
Getting proposed to rocks,
Monica
dude.
and Chandler.
Yeah, it's the best.
I don't think it was tough. We were talking about it earlier. I'm like, I don't know if that's not a manly thing, but like, it's just kind of funny. I don't know.
I mean, obviously it's different if it's a gay couple. If you're a man and a woman proposes to you, that's rock bottom. That's the worst day of your life.
Tommy, I know you're going to take like your wife's last name.
Getting the back. This one's good. Getting into the back seat of a 2-door car. There's a tough one to do, Manly. That's so tough.
And I can never figure out how to move this.
Yeah.
It sucks so bad. So talking about your problems, sitting cross-legged with the hand over the knee, letting your wife put her luggage up on the airplane, using chapstick, getting proposed to, or getting into the backseat of a 2-door car. Glenny Balls, start with you.
I think it's got to be getting in the back of a 2-door car. That's a great one.
Yeah, it's a really, really good one. One for the car.
I'm going to go using chapstick. And I'll use chapstick sometimes, but I never feel good about it. It's like, oh, it's basically lipstick. I'm basically putting lipstick on.
It's better that than like the one where it's like in the little tub that you got to like scoop out.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
best kind.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem.
There's nothing wrong with doing it, but I would not be caught dead putting chapstick on in public. Getting the car one, but like, what are you going to do? Like, you have no fucking other option. You got to get in the back of the fucking car. I'll go with the chapstick.
Chapstick.
Give me the run through one more time because there was one where I was like,
Talking about your problems, sitting the cross-legged, letting your wife put up the luggage on the plane, chapstick, getting proposed to, and getting in the backseat of a 2-door car.
I thought there was another one. I guess it's getting in the back seat.
Getting in the backseat. You're talking about your problems, sitting cross-legged with your hand over one knee, letting a wife put up luggage on an airplane, using chapstick, getting proposed to.
Talking about your problems is right there. Mm-hmm. Like it depends. Yeah, it's probably talking about your problems.
Talking about your problems.
Yeah.
Okay, one for talking about your problems. Nick.
I love chapstick. It's my favorite thing to do. Tommy, fuck you. If I kissed you, your toes would be curling. I would have you screaming.
Nice
Oh,
voice.
yeah? Test it out, bitch.
Guaranteed, bitch.
I bet I wouldn't even like it that much, bitch.
Fine. Let's settle this shit. Man to man.
Only
Still
one
is
way
the
to
old
find
fashioned
out.
way.
You want to step outside? Make out?
Yeah, you want to step into a dark room?
It's getting into the back of the car. I can never do it gracefully, and don't even get me fucking started on getting out.
Oh, no.
I still be sitting. My foot will be like kind of all the way out, and I can't.
You gotta like
Oh,
slide.
nightmare.
You gotta like fight with a seatbelt that's crossed over.
Two for the car, KB.
I'm an advocate for talking about your problems and listening to other people's, but I think it might be that. Like if we're chilling and you start ripping out.
Yeah,
like,
did you just hear yourself?
you start talking about your fears and shit? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, like imagine getting a drink with a friend you haven't seen in a while, and he like complains about things going on in his life. Like, no, talk about the game that's on.
Me and Kyle met up with a
Talk
guy.
about how much pussy you got this
We
week.
met up with a guy in New York.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Kyle and I met up with a guy in New York years ago. He had just gotten out of a relationship. The girl he lost his virginity to, and the whole time he was like fishing for us to call him handsome. So he was just like, "You got like, I'll probably just never get another girl because I'm ugly, right?"
He was just
We're
really
"Dude,
saying-
no,
Was he actually ugly?
no, good looking
No,
guy.
he was like, yeah, I probably won't ever get a girlfriend, huh?
Probably not.
Was this Nate?
I was just
It wasn't Nate.
No, it is. You should do it and all that good stuff. But like, if you do it to me, all you're getting is, what are you gonna do?
I'm
Yeah,
switching.
that's
I'm
crazy.
switching to talking about your problems.
Switching to talking about your problems. So we are 2 for getting in the backseat of the car.
I
3
just don't
for
feel like
talking about.
myself lately.
But this might be gay of me. What if the problems are juicy?
I love it.
Well, that's,
That's
good.
different.
then.
That's
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
No, disagree.
You disagree? Like
What?
if you're hearing like
I don't want to hear anything.
well, I guess it depends on the situation, but yeah. Dave.
Yeah, it's probably talking about your problems. Just internalize that shit and
Kill yourself when you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets to that
Yeah.
point. Yeah, that's pretty manly.
Jesus Christ.
Just you got to bottle it up and never let anybody know about it. And maybe one day you just go, kaboom.
You fucking
Take it
suicide
out on-
bomb if you fucking.
yeah.
I was talking more metaphorically, but if you will, maybe strap it.
Metaphorical.
Yeah.
Go to an office building in Oklahoma and just see what happens. You never
Exactly.
know.
Yeah.
So now we have the talking about your problems. Going to move on against number 2 seed. I don't see how 2 seed is tough to beat. The biting your lips selfie. The Lin-Manuel
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yep, the Lin-Manuel Miranda special. Biting your lip and a selfie as a guy. So the biting lip selfie versus the talking about your problems, Dave.
Explain to me the biting, or is this like a what am I
It's like
missing here?
you taking a selfie,
yeah.
like Snapchatting a girl and being like, Can you
I
see what
shaved
I'm
a
doing?
goatee and dyed it, and I did the Lin-Manuel Miranda. Try to find it.
Yeah, I know.
What are you calling it?
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
What? Who
I mean, I
is
think
that?
you could even
Is
just
it from a
change it
movie?
to
That's
like.
so straight of you to know.
I think you could
not know.
even
That's true.
change it to just like sending a serious selfie.
Take it a
yeah,
serious
yeah.
selfie.
Yeah, like
oh,
taking
yeah.
a serious selfie.
Trying
and
to
send-
That-
hot
okay,
the
that's-
selfie.
Yeah, like a gym selfie, like it's you shirtless.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the least manly thing you can do.
Retaking a selfie.
So one for the selfie versus the talking about your problems, Dave.
Oh yeah, it's a selfie, 100%.
One for the selfie, KB.
Yeah, trying to perfect a selfie. Yeah, that's gonna be it.
That just made my skin crawl. You saying it?
It's a selfie.
Two for the selfie, Nick.
Yeah, it's the selfie. If you're biting your lip, if you're trying to look hot, giving it the light skinned face, can't do it, man.
Generally speaking, trying to look hot. It should just also be on
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Three for the bite or for the selfie fights.
I think the selfie, that's like a larger mental illness. It's not like a lack of masculinity. It's like excessive narcissism. If you're retaking selfie, I think if we're talking about like manliness, what's less manly? It's talking about your problems.
Okay. One for talking
Now,
about
we
your
are
problems.
talking to the guy with one of the largest NFT selfie collections in the world right here. But I actually think selfies are okay as a guy if you're smiling. If you're doing a little smirk, if you're like sending a straight face selfie to a girl being like, what you up to? Like something like that. Like,
But have you guys ever sent like the not good looking man like half your face in the frame?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, plenty of
Bread
that.
and butter.
so yeah, selfie.
Yep.
Easy selfie.
Selfie, easy selfie. Selfie is going to move on. Now we can run through our playoffs. First one being chasing after something that's blowing in the wind. So just a very funny visual. Versus needing help opening a jar. Glenny.
I'm going jar.
Jar, no question.
Yes, sir.
One for the jar.
Yeah, I'm going jar as well.
Two for the jar. Fights.
I think probably jar.
Probably jar. Three for the jar, Nick.
It's chasing something, dude. Easily.
I'm just trying to imagine.
Some jars are tight. Sometimes there's shit on your hands. You got beat by a gust.
I'm just imagining in Chicago terms of blowing down like the Riverwalk. Like you're chasing your paper along the Riverwalk.
Yeah, bad.
KB.
It depends. If it's like over 10 seconds of chasing, that's bad.
Like a straight up hunt.
Like a hunt. And if it's a jar that no one else can open, like that's fine. But if somebody else does get it for you, that I think I'm gonna have to go with jar here.
I think if you try to open it with like extra shit, like you put like a
you
cloth
get the-
over it, and then the guy
and
that
you
does
still
open it
fit.
doesn't.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
run it
yeah,
under
that-
hot
yeah.
water.
Yeah, you do all the tricks and none of them
Yep.
work, and the guy just opens
Hit
it.
it off a corner.
Yeah,
Ugh.
and the guy like
I-
raw dogs it. Yeah.
The way to do it is you got to give as little pressure as possible. Do people know that's the trick? Like if you're opening a jar of pickles and you're like squeezing the shit out of it, you're just fighting against yourself. If you just give it a nice little turn, 9 times out of 10 it'll open.
That's
Didn't
just-
know that.
Yeah, I always just get it instantly, I guess.
Fuck you.
Dave,
It's the jar.
it's the
Like,
jar.
I've been handed jars by women, and in that 3-second window where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able. It's like it's the worst 3 seconds of my year every time.
That's true. So now we have the number 16 sports jargon, not knowing any sports jargon, going up against the number 9 seed soft handshake. Dave.
Soft handshake is that will beat everything. We're joking about a lot of these. If I shake your hand and you have a limp dick handshake, I judge you as a man. Like actually, so.
One for the soft handshake. KB.
I'm going sports jargon. I think dudes who overjudge hands are compensating for something. It's just a
Absolutely.
handshake, a real
Absolutely.
brief thing. I'm not even thinking about you. I'm just trying to get this interaction over with. So sometimes I can see a guy going limp.
My point is that's like man 101 stuff.
It is.
Yeah, but it's
You're
also like,
trying
oh, that
handshake.
man didn't touch me the way I wanted him to touch
Yeah,
me.
that man didn't squeeze me.
Didn't squeeze me hard
Yeah.
enough.
Actually, you know what? Fuck that. I'm changing my vote. I'm changing it because I hate people who if you call a fucking inning a period or something, like I hope you die a painful death.
Jesus.
Like an actual painful death.
2 for the sports jargon. Nick.
Yeah, the handshake. Like I'm sure I've had my hand shook good and bad. I can't remember one. I can't remember
Right.
a single handshake
Right.
I've been in.
I actually want to bring this up when we were talking about it. You know who is a notorious, very, very apparent overcompensating handshaker?
Trump.
Yeah.
I would bet he has a limp dick. Is that
Oh,
a thing?
that's a no.
No, he pulls you in.
People-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he does the
Yanked.
pull in. Captain Cons. He will make sure that he is suffocating your hand just to prove a point, because he's that insecure and unmanly. I'm not even kidding. Next time you shake his hand, he will make sure he's like putting like he is trying to break your fingers.
Oh, I'm gonna make a point of that next time.
Go
Yeah.
yeah.
So Nick, which one are you picking?
It's sports jargon. We know the type of guy it is, and it's like it makes me so uncomfortable just because like they think it's working.
Right?
Think they're
yeah.
fitting in.
Yeah. It's
And
always a guy
they
you
know
don't
in their
well.
head. They know in their head, like they need to fit in and act manly.
Uh-huh.
And the worst part is like oftentimes I would rather not correct them ever.
Never.
No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah.
Like it's always there. They're trying to. I don't even know how I want to put this. Like you can't make fun of them because you don't know them well. You know, it's
Right.
always a situation where if it's like I said, like my sister's ex-boyfriend 20 years ago or whatever. But like if it was me or you, like I would just bust your fucking balls
right.
about it, roast you for it. That you got to act like you're all like, oh yeah, man.
It's not the same thing, but Fasoli, who pisses me off just by existing. We were talking football, and he was just like, "Will you talk to me when the Steelers have the same amount of Super Bowls as the Patriots?" Like he like mic dropped. I was like, "They do."
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
That is a very Fasoli move.
yeah.
So we have 3 for the sports jargon fights.
I'm going handshake. I know it's already been touched upon, but like, it's basically the first thing ingrained in you. Like, if you're a
It is,
man,
yeah.
you
Right.
have a good handshake. It's like you got a penis, you're a boy. You got a good handshake, you're a man. Like that's like the first thing you learn.
Yeah.
That's a quote
We're
card
not
right
doing
there. Damn.
politics here.
Damn.
I think I'm just probably coping because I'd imagine I'm an awful handshake. I'm always clammy.
I'm just going off based how I would judge.
So we are 3 to 1 in favor of the sports jargon.
Yeah, I'm with KB. I'm thinking of how I think I would more easily forget a quote unquote bad handshake than I would forget a guy, saying that
Oh no,
the Yankees had 9 points last
When you
night.
have like, I know the bad handshakes
do?
I've
Okay.
interacted with.
I don't think about it.
Tommy, when someone in baseball's when it's a 0-0 score, how do you word
No
it?
score.
Okay, that you've passed the test. I hate when people say it's tied 0-0.
Oh,
it
that's
drives me
pathetic.
fucking insane. It's pathetic.
So we are sports is going to win, bud.
Yeah, I'm going jargon. Just for the fact that it shouldn't happen. Like, people shouldn't even try to. If you don't know the sport, just don't talk about it. I'd rather that be a thing.
Again, I still think the guy trying to fit in, I think, is whatever.
I picture like me being married in like 30 years and like having to like talk to a dad in my kid's class, and he doesn't clearly know, and you got to just pretend. That annoys me. I'm definitely going sports jargon.
I think Dave, even like if you said the score is 3-0 instead of 3-0, I would judge you a little bit too. That might be specific, but 3-0 that's 3-0. It's 3-0.
Nothing is pretty manly.
Yeah.
In general.
What about Zip?
Yeah, zip ice. I would say zip 3 zip.
That's fine.
I think I don't. This is like a new one to me. I don't think I think if you ask me to score a baseball game, I go, "There's no score 0-0."
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I think.
Well, you said no
I
score
would say-
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you qualified it.
yeah.
What about nil? I feel like that people use that in soccer,
That's
but not in.
soccer, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's only.
I think I
soccer.
did it with every sport. I think if it's 0-0 or no score 0-0.
Yeah. So Glenny, you're up for sports jargon versus not being able to or needing help to open a jar is going into the finals.
I'm gonna go with sport. I'm gonna stick with sports.
You're sticking with sports
Yeah, I'm
jargon.
sticking with sports.
Sorry, sports first.
Not needing help opening a jar.
I'll go sports.
2 for sports fights.
Yeah, it's by sports.
It's probably sports. 3 for sports. Nick.
Again, kind of in the same vein, but I once said Andre Agassi, just because I only ever read the name, and it haunts me to this day. I said it on the
Oh,
Yak
I do
early
this
on.
all the time.
I hate it's horrible. It's being on that side of it. It sucks. It's embarrassing. Mm-hmm. So sports jargon.
Sports jargon. KB.
Yeah. I'm talking about the basics here.
And Dave. I'm assuming same
Sports
thing.
jargon. Sports jargon.
So sports jargon is going to go into the finals on the other side. We have poor throwing motion, not being able to throw things, versus covering your ears when a loud sound is happening in your mind. It's just so funny to think about. Dave.
I will remind everybody that I did almost cause someone to commit suicide because of how hard I threw a baseball, and because of that,
Was it how hard you threw it or how not hard they threw it?
combination of each? Yeah,
Full competition.
combination.
Good old
but,
fashioned
like,
combination of each.
that is the most manly I've ever felt in my entire life. Especially when I heard that he was like, hanging from a rope in his closet. Joking.
Heidelberg, that's your friend, right?
I know. I am. I swear to God, I'm joking. I like Kravis in this. Obviously, a joke.
Whoa, that's who it's about.
I've made this joke many times, but it's throwing for me. It'll always be throwing.
One for throwing, KB.
Yeah, the standard arm back hurl should be such an involuntary motor skill from thousands and thousands of repetitions. If we're talking just masculinity, that's going to be my vote.
Two for poor throwing, Nick.
It looks bad, but like, there's a type of guy that could maybe get away with it. Like Kyle, you don't have the best mechanic for throwing a football, but you are a wrestler.
Yeah, we look bad. Like, yeah,
You're not supposed to throw shit.
You're not supposed to throw shit.
I'm bad at all other stuff.
Like putting your hands over your ears is toddler shit. Oh, I don't want to hear that. Oh, and you're like squeezing your own head.
It is. It's autism.
It's autism.
Yeah.
So
It's that. Yeah.
covering their ears, fights.
No, it's throwing. It's throwing. If you like, sometimes stuff's just loud. If you just can't throw, that's very not manly.
So we are three for poor throwing.
I'm
one for covering
torn
ears.
here. I mean, yeah, not throwing is very classic, but you do see that a decent amount, and it's like, oh, what? But like, if I was walking down the street and I saw some guy go like this because a fire truck was coming by, that's pathetic.
Would you rather do that in front of a girl you were trying to sleep with, or throw poorly in front of a girl you were trying to
Covering
sleep
the
with?
Rather
ears would be worse, I
throw
think.
poorly.
Yeah. Covering the ears had to, in a date situation. I think covering the ears would be game
Right,
over.
Yeah,
because
I mean, unless there's
there
like
are hot
a
firemen in
nuclear
there.
war breaking out, and it's like one of those sirens. I don't know what other noise would. I'm gonna go with covering the ear.
Covering the ears. Two for covering the ears. Three for the poor throwing motion. Glenny.
I'm stumped because I feel like covering the ears doesn't really even happen.
I will say. The only thing is I've seen it.
I've seen it in the
If, you're,
city.
if we're saying we've seen it, then it's definitely covering the ears.
Definitely covering the ears. All right, so we're tied up. I think between these two, the covering the ears thing, I think you put it in a good situation. If you were trying to like get with a girl and she saw you do one of these two, she saw you throw poorly. I don't think she would give it that much of a second thought. If she saw you cover your ears because a police siren turned on, it's entirely over.
Wait, hold on. Why do we care about what girls think here? That's like the gayest thing you can do.
Well, okay, same
Like,
thing.
I
in the
care
guy.
what other men think.
Same thing. If
about
you guys
me.
saw him, if you were like walking to lunch with me and you saw me go, oh, that's siren.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard.
If you saw me like throw something at poorly, you'd be like, oh, you're dumb. You wouldn't be like,
Right.
I think less of you as a man. If you saw me cover my ears because of a police siren, you'd be texting every person you knew. Like,
Yeah,
that's,
I'm thinking less of you as a man both ways.
yeah. But which one's worse?
Throwing.
I'm gonna stick with
Teach their own.
the covering the ears.
Teach their own.
So covering the ears is going to move on. Now on the other side, taking a selfie, a serious selfie, trying to look hot, going up against swinging your feet, which we talked about earlier. Glenny.
Serious selfie's my winner right now. It's going to be tough to beat that.
Very tough to beat.
Agreed. This is a bloodbath.
But I agree. But I think back to what you said about chasing something. Like I think it with women too. Like I think if you take selfies, there's
no,
something
women
wrong
should
with
take
you.
selfies. Women should take selfies and look hot and post them on Instagram.
Yeah,
Like,
Yes.
are we
Yeah.
using selfie in the traditional sense of the word? Like it's just your face.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you could have like some of your neck and
any dude like trying to be hot. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think no matter who you are, I think a selfie is a severe mental illness. What's the other one?
Swinging your feet. It's a tough one.
I guess I'll go selfie because some people are just short. But
Oh.
I think selfie is both sexes.
3 for selfies, Nick.
My thought process has been, which would I not want to be caught doing? And it's selfie. You guys would lose all what little respect you have for me if I'm just.
I'm not
trying to
kidding
look
when I
cute, like
say it
changing
would
lighting.
change my opinion of you entirely as a
Yeah,
person.
as it should. Tommy.
Like if Nick was taking a dead serious selfie and sending out,
It doesn't even have to be
I
dead
would
serious.
never look at you the same way ever.
Like
Thank you, Tommy. That's how you should feel toward. Yeah.
I think the last time we talked about this was on the bracket. All the shows
Recording yourself.
Recording yourself. So
Yes.
we on Saturday of this week we have Wishfest. I'll give it a shout out. Come to Wishfest this weekend. It's a charity that we donate 100% of proceeds to cancer benefits. I got to promote that today, and I literally have been thinking about it nonstop because it's going to be on my walk home, and it's going to be the worst minute of my week
Do
probably.
you have to do it on your walk home?
Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter where. It's the fact that I'm going to be doing this motion, and I'm just dreading the thought.
All right, well,
and I'm promoting a literal charity.
Well, I'll retweet it.
Yeah, we'll make sure that we repost it no matter what time you put it up.
It's like when we do the game time ads. It's an instant hit send on the tweet, and then I mute that conversation.
Well, there was one game time ad where you were fucking wasted.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well,
You said you could get them on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. I think that one of it kind of reminds me of the situation you're talking about. It's like whenever sometimes like an athlete's Snapchats to a girl will get leaked, and it's like it's like Zion, like sending Snapchats to a porn star. Like you look at that and you're like, oh,
That I would respect more. If he's just using it to respond to an ass pic, if he's like, what are you doing this Tuesday?
Yeah.
That's
But
way worse.
My thing with you is still, I completely agree with you. I would look at Nick entirely differently, but I don't think I'd look at him as less of a man. I'd be like, yeah, there's just
Right.
there's
And
something
I'm-
wrong
I'm
with you.
with
Would
you on
you
this.
wouldn't hesitate if you saw Rhea or Fran taking a selfie?
Or Rudy.
No,
Or
I
Chief.
wouldn't. So I guess there
Has
is some.
Chief, have you seen it?
What?
Have you seen Chief taking a selfie?
Oh, dude, he's the selfie king.
Is he actually?
Look at the guy.
What? What's that?
what does that mean?
He regularly gets a manicure. Of course, he takes selfies.
Really have
constantly.
nails and a manicure, or you don't really have like nails and a selfie.
If he's showing off, if Chief was showing off his nails in a selfie, that would be
That's funny.
pretty tough. So Nick, are you gonna stick with selfies or the swinging the feet?
It's got to be selfie.
Another one for selfie. It's gonna win, but KB.
I'm kind of with Feits. I hate it the most, but I don't know if it's necessarily emasculating because I think a lot of like Slayers and Casanovas and like pro athletes will do it to get girls or to try to get pussy, and it's embarrassing. But I don't know if it's like the merit to their masculinity.
Okay.
But if you're swinging your feet and because you're not tall enough to touch the ground, I mean that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that is a rough one. So you're gonna go swinging the feet.
It's just for show, but I'm gonna change my vote as well with Kyle.
You're gonna change?
Yeah, I think the selfie still wins, but I'm just gonna be on the right side of history on this one.
Well, it's not yet. It is right now. After that, it would. Oh wait, no. Yeah, it's
3-2
gonna-
selfie.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on
It's
Dave.
Dave.
Well, I am voting. So as a short, I often have my legs dangling, and it is the most embarrassing thing that happens to me. So I am going to vote this one.
Wait, sit all the way back in that chair. Like to your butt to the back. Touch your butt to the back. Okay, you touch. You're fine.
I do hate this chair, though. I've been fucking with. I'm sure you've noticed how much I've been fucking with everything.
I
here.
haven't been.
But yeah, it's and people obviously, especially here, they'll see it happening. Like on the chairs out there, my feet dangle. I think probably, but everybody points it out. It's like, oh, look at Dave's feet dangling. What a midget. Like, yeah, it's embarrassing.
By the way, I just sent you guys the Zion selfie I was talking about. I was trying to remember what it was, and it was, I got a big room, come sleep with me. And it's
Oh yeah, yeah.
the picture's tough. It is a rough one. So selfies is gonna win.
It looks like he just got done with practice. He's
Yeah.
wearing his practice
Penny, yeah.
penny.
So taking selfies is gonna go up against covering your ears when
I-
loud noise.
Sorry to interrupt. I think I would think different of Rhea and Fran. I know they take them, but if I saw it with my own eyes,
I would never judge a girl for taking a selfie.
it's not
Ever.
a judge thing because I've seen the pictures. When I see a picture, it doesn't bother me. It's seeing the act of
The
taking
act
the
of taking
picture.
it, okay. So selfies versus covering your ears when a loud noise goes by. Dave.
Selfie.
Selfie is gonna get another vote. KB.
Yeah, I claim to do this. I don't actually do this. If you actually cover your ears because you're so affected by a sound, then that is the worst.
1-1. Nick.
Sound again. Back to the point of like, it's not only just a loud sound. It's a loud sound coming from a truck full of hot heroes.
Yeah, about to enter a building that's literally on fire.
Yeah. 2 for covering the ears, 1 for the selfie fights.
I'll probably go covering the ears.
3 for covering yours, 1 for selfie.
I'm going selfie here. I just can't get the image of Nick taking a selfie out of my head.
Selfie,
Can you take one right now?
No.
Like I said, selfie's
won't.
my winner. I'm sticking with
I don't want
selfie.
to lose Tommy's respect. It's one of my favorite things I have.
We are 3-3. The Zion selfie is so like that one is one that like you think of him, he's a multi-million-dollar athlete, like rich, strong, all the great things, like super whatever masculine shit. And like that selfie is just so immediately takes him down a peg.
Yeah.
That hurts so bad. But man, the covering the ears, dude. Just like, and I've seen it. It's just like I remember literally walking right near FIT near our office. This like older guy, like a siren comes by and he's like, "Oh!" and he covered his ears, and it was so fucking emasculating.
Were you guys here for the Air and Water show last? Only a couple months ago in August.
Yeah.
Did you guys have to cover your ears at all?
No.
No.
Oh no, I was indoors though.
Yeah, it was indoors, but it's loud as shit.
It's fucking loud.
Yeah.
That's
So,
like you're allowed to do it there.
so I'm gonna move on covering the ears. So covering your ears from a loud sound versus not knowing sports jargon. Start out with you, Glenny.
It's a good final.
Sports jargon.
Not knowing sports
saying
jargon.
Not saying sports jargon.
Do you think
Wait,
it,
is this the final, by the way?
this is the final?
Okay, cool.
Do you think that it matters more which sport it is?
No.
Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah,
I mean, if you don't know
I don't-
fucking
I don't know
water
tennis.
polo.
I don't know. I don't know hockey really. If it,
Yeah.
if baseball,
then I just don't wanna talk
baseball,
hockey with
football,
you.
basketball.
Yeah.
I'd
That I just won't talk. I know not to talk.
exactly. Or I say like I don't follow hockey for shit. Like I won't try to fake it. Be
Hockey's
like,
on the
oh,
borderline.
I have a train
Bad
in 10 minutes.
icing.
I'm going to go grab that if
Okay.
we're done.
Yep. You're good.
Sports
So Glenn, you're
jargon.
sticking with sports jargon.
Yes.
I will say
Good work,
NHL
guys.
is like on the borderline of it, but the other three, if you don't know like the
Yeah.
big three, like the basics, that's tough. Tommy.
Yeah, I mean the head. Well, the covering ears is funny, but it does seem so absurd. Where it's almost like they have something wrong. They have a sensory issue. If you just don't know, again, calling runs, points, etc., periods, quarters, the losing score first, you're not a man.
I'm gonna go jargon.
Jargon. 3 for jargon. Nick.
It's jargon. It's jargon.
Jargon's gonna win, but KB.
Yeah, agreed.
Jargon. Dave. Jargon. So the winner of the bracket episode 151, least manly thing that a man can do is not knowing basic sports jargon. Again, I think it matters a lot, the situational, and I think that to me it's so much worse when a guy tries to make you know that he doesn't care about sports.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the it's just not even just like annoying, it's just super unmanly too. But yeah, that's the winner. Come back next week, we'll have a brand new episode for you.